Finesse gang, can I get a year? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and thank you for tuning in to a brand new segment on the channel. Yes, we're doing something brand new today. This is Before the Finesse, where I talk about stories from my personal festival experiences that happened that are not on video. Before I was a festival finesser, before I started vlogging, one of the many reasons I started vlogging was because I got into so many crazy situations that you guys will not believe. So this is my story, how I camped at Camp Bisco without any tent poles in 2016, and it's coming up after the intro.
Can I get a year?
I'm the festival finesser.
Alright guys, we're doing this motherfucking story time with the festival finesser. Let's get it. We're going back 4 years ago into July 2016, getting ready for Camp Bisco. So before Camp Bisco, I was at Mysteryland in June with my friend Brandon, his girlfriend, and their friend Raven. So throughout that festival experience at Mysteryland, Brandon and his girlfriend were always chilling, which left me and this other girl Raven always chilling because we didn't want to be third wheeling or whatever. So we got really cool, and she was just very into the festival scene, very just with the shits, while my friend and his girlfriend were kind of like chilling back. We were always going like into the crowd, dancing, shuffling, because that was that era. I was into that shit at that time. Seeing BTSM, G Jones, Ganja White died in 2016, bro. Raz early as fuck at Mysteryland. So fast forward a month into July, me and Raven planned to go to Bisco together because Brandon and his girlfriend didn't want to go. Whatever, me and Raven were going together, just us two. So our first time going to Bisco, and we had no idea what to expect. So we had just gone camping at Mysteryland. You know what I'm saying? We had just camped, so we basically didn't even have to unpack. It was a month later. We had all our shit. We knew what to bring. What we didn't know about Camp Bisco was that it was not car-side camping. So we had a whole bunch of shit, bro. We had a table, we had just my tent, a canopy, like just a cooler. We had a whole bunch of shit for two people. You know, we had to carry all of our shit, my shit, her shit. We carried everything, just us two, from our car to the trailer. And then we're online. I remember carrying the table, having just everything. It was heavy as fuck, and we were just waiting online. It's fucking dark as fuck. It's like past midnight. We're waiting online for the shuttles to pick us up. And you know, as the line's moving, I gotta pick up half my stuff and move it, then go back and get the rest of it because I had so much stuff. And I picked up my tent. And I remember just like thinking, like, oh my god, there's no tent poles here. I remember just folding the tent in half, and I'm like, oh my god, there's no tent poles. So I go to Raven, I'm like, bro, I fucked up. I forgot tent poles. And she was like, bro, what the fuck? How are we gonna camp? So I was like, don't worry, we're gonna finesse. Like, in my head, I was like, don't fucking worry, bro, I got this. Like, we're gonna do this. So for Camp Bisco, it's campsites A through Z. And, you know, Camp A being the closest and Camp Z being the farthest up the mountain. So I'm like, bro, I'm not carrying, we're getting off the first fucking stop, bro. I'm not carrying any of this any farther than I have to. So we get off at the first stop, Camp A, and we see this little gap, like this little patch. And we're like, bro, that's a fucking spot right there. Like, I don't give a fuck how close we are. We're camping right there. So what I did was I set up the easy up, right? And I had an easy up, I had tarps, I had duct tape, I had string, I had my tent. So I set up the easy up, right? And then I took the tarps and I strung the tarps around with, like, you know, duct tape and zip ties and bungee cords. I strung the tarp around the easy up, and then I put the cover of the easy up on top underneath the tarp. So we had a nice enclosed space, and then we had the cover on top. Our tent was basically an easy up wrapped in a tarp. And then we had all of our shit in the tent, and thankfully it only rained like once. And it was that experience that made me realize that you have to be prepared for anything, you know, for things to break. And that's why I was so thankful that I had duct tape, tarps, zip ties, I had all that shit to make my campsite a campsite, because otherwise we would have really been out there with like with nothing. We would have been an easy up, sleeping under the easy up in our sleeping bags, and that was about it. So we actually embraced it and we loved it, and it was just mad fun. And it was nice to be able to stand up in your tent. You know what I'm saying? You could stand up. It was like a 6-foot easy up, so I could just stand up in there, get changed, no problem. And thankfully nobody was fucking with our shit because we had no zippers, bro. It was just like kind of like just a drape. It was just draped open like curtains. You just open up the curtains and walk into our shit. So unfortunately there's no video of this. You know, I had video of Bisco in 2016, some of the stuff, but this is when I was just worried about the sets and the music. I was not filming the whole experience, and I wish I did, bro, because that shit was just insane, bro. Have you ever camped without a tent, bro? Have you ever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking crazy. It's really different. It's kind of scary. So when in doubt, get creative. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make do with what you got and be resourceful. So I definitely did that in that situation, and that is how I camped at Camp Bisco in 2016 without any tent poles. So like I said, there's no video of it. I wish there was, but I wanted to share this with you guys and start doing this because I just put out a Bisco lineup review, and it reminded me of Camp Bisco 2016 not having a tent, and then I went back in 2018 and finessed the fuck out of it. But that is how I camped at Camp Bisco 2016 without tent poles. And remember, don't ever do that shit. Like, please do a checklist before you leave. Make sure you have everything that you need and don't leave anything. You know, 10 and 10 poles go in the same bag. I did not learn that lesson, and now I do. 10 and 10 poles go in the same bag. They go in your tent, because if it's not, you'll forget them, like I did. Don't be like me before the Festival of Finesser. Be like the Festival of Finesser now. Gang. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Till the next lineup review or the next story on the Festival of Finesser, and I will see you for the next one. Bye.